Oh, hey there, chat. Hello,
Hello.
hello. Happy Tuesday. And I didn't actually put the subtitle of this as being a tournament Tuesday, although battles will be had. Maybe,
Yes.
possibly. I'm not sure. I'm very interested to see.
Or as we like to call it now, Tornado Tuesday.
Oh, God.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Absolutely. There is a possibility there's bad weather rolling through Chicago. So, bear with us. That's all.
Wish us luck. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Bear with
but-
us better than our studio is bearing with us. No.
Yes,
Yeah,
actually. So I would mention this yesterday. Some people thought that was a April Fool's joke. It
No,
was
it
not.
was not.
We have a little bit of damage at the studio. Everybody's okay, and that's the most important part. But the studio
Even
is
Doug.
not.
And even then, I mean, it's like it is one of those things where it could be a lot worse, but it's like, there's a little bit of damage. It's mostly like with the roof and ceiling and stuff, and like drippage and things like that. But nothing like in terms of props and stuff like that, or like artwork in the front and stuff like that. Like, none of that was damaged that we're aware of, so that's good. The costumes, everything like that is fine. But it's gonna take a little time to fix that all up. So if you see a few reviews maybe at home here, that'll be why.
Yeah. For sure. Anyway, but that's not why we're here. We're here because you all absolutely hit our sub goal out of the park for March, and we will have a April 1 up soon. I've got to look at my little magical list of incentives and see what we might want to do.
We're here to fight, said Siga.
We're here to fight. So if you haven't been with us for any of these tier list streams before, we have a list of movies here that we are going to be ranking S, A, B, C, D, E. Oh, this has an E. I didn't notice that. E or F.
Hell yeah.
We are going to be sticking to the main MCU movies, okay? So we're not going to include like the Fox X-Men. We're not going to include
That would be a lot of Fs.
We're not going to include the Marvel TV series, although the list that I did end up getting does have them on here. So, I mean, if we end up with time, we can add them on. But honestly, we may not have time. There's always more of these than I remember there being.
That's fair.
We do not have Walter or Malcolm with us. Walter, however, did send a list. So we
You thought ahead.
will be
I love
occasionally
that.
taking a look at Walter's
I
list.
have a lot of opinions and I hate fun, so I submitted my own list.
That is
Wow.
very much the vibe. Like, I can't be there, but I do want you to know what I hate.
The Salter vibe all the way.
Salter vibe. Everyone's salted in chat.
Yeah. For sure. I may not be reading the full bit messages tonight then as well, just because we do have a lot to get through and a lot to talk about. So thank you in advance so much for bits, subs, whatever. But we may not be able to completely answer and read every single part of the bit messages here. I do see we're in a level 1 hype train. Y'all are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big Mac, thank
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do we want to move Rob out of the way because he is blocking the S tier on the screen? Can we do that or
Wow.
Okay.
Excuse me, Doug. I am S tier.
There's no way
You
for
are
me to
S.
like just
No,
cut
we
Rob
can
out.
We
So-
can just know that Rob is where S tier goes. Rob is S tier.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Rob
I
is
mean-
S tier.
I'd have
is
to
S
really
tier.
shrink
I'll just form
everybody.
an S like this so people can know, or I guess it's this way because it's reversed. There you go. So
I'd
I'd have
I'll
to
just stay like this the whole
super
time.
shrink everybody.
The Rob tier.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's Rob tier now, baby.
Oh, there you go. You
It's
can
Rob
see it.
tier.
Okay.
Rob tier.
Rob tier.
All right. Big Mac, thank you for the 37 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. CM Sully, thank you for the 100 bits. Guess who hasn't seen a good chunk of Marvel properties and thus her opinion will be entirely useless? This girl. Tara was like, oh, it's not me. Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. Good to see you, Rob. Hope you can enjoy the Q&A stream again sometime soon. We miss you.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop back at one of those.
Yay! Noff, thank you for the 100 bits. Can we all simply say this is going to be a civil war? You had to get it out there before someone else did, yeah?
Okay, I loved it though. 10 out of 10. Keep them coming.
That Eater, thank you for the 50 bits. Let me establish a law for y'all. The Incredible Hulk is B tier. It's flawed, but it's not the disaster people say it is. If you disobey this law, you'll be executed by your tyrannical, mousy overlord. Well, I will take that.
I'm gonna cut you, bitch.
There you go. Perfect. Well, I guess on that note, we're starting with the Incredible Hulk.
Wait a minute.
No,
Iron Man was first.
Okay, sure. We can start with Iron Man. I'm just going. This isn't necessarily in any particular order, but sure, we could do Iron Man first. That's fine.
It looks like it's mostly in order.
I'm gonna say A tier.
A. Okay.
Yeah, it gets extra bonus points because it was the launch, and I thought it was a decent enough launch that it kept Marvel going all this time. So
I'm somewhere between God, because there's so many letters. Between A and B. There's always something about that last third that's just kind of lame.
I agree, but I think it still deserves A for everything it accomplished.
I'm somewhere in between A and B. What do you think?
I'd be like an A minus.
I think it's A.
I have not made it to one of these tier lists yet, and you're about to see that I'm about to tilt the scale because I love everything. I think this is absolutely an A, 100%.
Okay. And I think Walter agrees. Walter said Iron Man is an A, so
All right.
there it is.
I need to watch that again. It's been years.
It's been forever.
It's been so long.
It's almost like that was over a decade ago.
Stop! Don't say that.
All right, Incredible Hulk.
That is a C.
Yeah.
I don't even know which one that is. Which one's the one?
Edward Norton.
Nasally McGee. I'd say C.
I'd say C. C
It
or
was definitely better than the Ang Lee one. But
yeah.
That one would be E.
Yeah, the angle it would be.
So we're putting it in C.
I'm fine with it.
We're agreeing a lot more than I thought we might.
Yeah, I did see.
Hey, the night is young.
It
You're
has
right.
Liv Tyler in it, so I'm like, oh, it's pretty good, but it wasn't as good as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing they did that I thought was clever is they almost make it like an unofficial sequel to the Ang Lee Hulk, because in the opening credits, they kind of show what happened in the Ang Lee Hulk. I thought that was pretty clever for something that didn't establish the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, I thought that was pretty clever. So that stops me from putting in D.
I think the best thing it did is it's kind of forgettable. So you're never going to be like, oh, it's an F. But at the same time, it's like, no one's going to rank it S tier.
It makes me want to see Edward Norton as the Hulk in the other movies. That's the one thing I'm like, but I do like Mark Ruffalo.
And we should reiterate, this is based on the Marvel bell curve. Like, if we're comparing it to all movies ever made, that's different. But because like most Marvel stuff, even the bad ones are generally like, they're okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Iron Man 2.
Oh, that is F.
Okay. Oh no.
I'll give it an E because I remember Mickey Rourke talking to a parrot, and it gets an E for that.
Okay, can you remind me which one this is? Because I do not remember.
Mickey Rourke with 2 electric whips, and
I hated this one. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Didn't like this one.
E. I'll give it an E. That's me being generous.
I will go a little higher. I'll be a little more generous. I'll give it a D because I do like Mickey Rourke a great deal, and I do like Robert Downey Jr. still in it. I like it because it was the first time we saw what happens after a superhero outs himself, and that was really interesting to me. And it's all building up, but it goes nowhere. So that really sucks. Like there's no cool action sequence or big face-off or anything like that. But there's some stuff I remember from it liking. Okay, it's introduction of Scarlett Johansson into the universe. But,
I also really enjoy.
I always forget that she's even in that though. Like Black Widow, one of my favorite characters, and I'm just like, oh yeah, she showed up. It was Iron Man 2. Like it almost annoys me that that's how she showed up. Wasn't that crappy movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Rob is an E. Doug, where are you at?
I'm at D.
D. Tamara, where are you at?
I really, I'm remembering it. I really liked Pepper's story with him, so I'm gonna say D. I'm gonna say D.
D.
Oh my god. Y'all are
Okay.
way too gracious.
See, I'm with Rob. I would put it in E. But so this is where it's nice,
Do it
right?
for the
We have
children,
2 E's,
Heather.
2
Do it for the
D's.
children.
Walter gets to be the tiebreaker,
Okay.
right? Walter said this was a C.
What?
Well, that lifts it up.
That does. I think that
Oh.
lifts it up to a total of a D for the group.
Whoa,
You're ruining
interesting.
this even when you're not here.
Walter, fun. Classic Walter.
Classic Walter.
I am telling Walter that chat said it was classic that he put it at a C. That's amazing.
I don't think it's as much he hates fun as much as he hates Rob. I think that's the thing we should be changing. Walter hates Rob. Walter hates Rob.
All right, that brings us to the first Thor movie.
Oh, if I'm being gracious, B, but like I didn't like the Thor movies that much till Ragnarok.
I'm in between B and C. I'm really in the middle because the Asgard stuff is cool, and he's cool. Whatchamacallit, Hemsworth.
Yeah,
and,
Thor 2 would be automatically
Loki.
lower for me. So
yeah. I'll be nice and give it a B. I thought it's one of the few fish out of water stories where I actually was like, I like this guy. I like seeing him.
See, that's what the second he like gets booted from Asgard and he has to hang out with Natalie Portman, I'm just like,
I agree. It's not a Thor movie, but as these fish out of water stories go, it could have been a lot worse. And he's so charming, I kind of give it a little bit of a pass. So
yes,
I
but
guess
she's so not that brings it back.
But she's not
down.
Kat Dennings.
Well, thank God for that. But I don't know. If you give it a B, I won't like pitch a shit fit, but I probably think Chris will see.
Okay, Tamara.
I was gonna say I rank it exactly as good as Iron Man 2.
Oh, really?
So I'm gonna say
Whoa!
I know that I was gonna
Wow.
ruin these lists for positivity, but I think I might ruin them for bad.
That's it. We're talking about the first one, not Dark World, right?
I never saw Dark Worlds.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
didn't like the
Maybe-
first one.
Maybe you saw Dark World and thought it was the first one.
No, because I love Natalie Portman, so I see everything that she's in, and I just didn't like it.
Well, she's in Dark World, so where were you on that one?
That's
It
okay.
was
She
so
didn't.
bad.
She didn't really show up for either film, so.
Okay. So far we have a B, a C, and a D. And I
Heather,
might
for you.
go with Rob, and just based off some of the other stuff that like the MCU has produced, I might put it at a C. It was fun. It was nice. I don't know. I'm between B and C as well. I feel like Thor doesn't come into his own as a character until later, and like seeing the evolution of Thor as the character with like Ragnarok and Love and Thunder overshadows this movie a bit.
But I kind of like him as a spoiled brat a little bit. Like he's
Yeah.
very cocky. He has to be humbled and stuff like that. And that's an interesting main character for the MCU, I think, to start off with that. I will say, if you go see, same thing. I'm not gonna throw like a shit fit or anything like that, which it looks like you just did. So yeah, what do I know?
Walter
Yeah, let's
also
just-
said a C, so
Okay, fair. That's
it's
fair.
a C.
Finally, Walter gets one right.
All right, Captain America.
I'd go a solid B.
Okay.
That's where I go to. I say B. If for any reason the other ones do get a lot better.
For me, it's a high B. Like it would be a B plus. But there's been so much stuff that came out after it where I'm just like, yeah, maybe probably in the B.
I remember when
it's an A for me for sure.
okay, you know what it is because after this, I think we went to Avengers, and you even see on the poster of the next Avengers movie who's at the forefront. It's Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I don't think anyone really bought him as a leader yet. He wasn't like our Captain America yet. That was really when the second film came out, and And again, it's good. It kind of shows him as a doofus, but I never thought he hit that point where it's like, yeah, it's Captain America. That's our leader. That is America's ass. That kind of thing. Yeah. So I probably put it in the B, but I'm with Rob. It's a high B.
I wouldn't argue if it is an A. I feel like B+ is probably where I'm at.
And I don't argue that either. I think that he doesn't come into his full force Captain America until later. But this movie for me I saw it. It must have been like the age I saw it at. And it just like is very nostalgic for me for some reason. Like I think back to that time and think like, yes, this was good. I just remember loving it. And I haven't seen it since then, but I have good vibes around it.
That's fair.
I am
Heather?
also teetering on the cusp of A, B, because it was a great introduction. It was a fun movie. It was just a solid production from Marvel.
The guy who directed The Rocketeer, I mean...
Yeah, and you can tell
perfect.
It's almost the same movie. Well, and I'll give it credit, too, that next to Thor, that is probably the toughest character at that time to make legitimate. I mean, like with the little wings and everything. And it's like, wait, how are you going to do this? And I thought they did it pretty well. But I remember Red Skull being kind of lame, and he's not in it a whole lot and stuff like that. But
true.
but again, it's not bad. I do like it. And also just B is looking very empty.
Plus
and lonely.
I love that last line. I had a date.
I had a date.
Like that was such a perfect way to close it.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it might be B. Let me look what Walter said. Walter says A.
For America's ass.
Ooh.
As I said, I won't argue if it ends up in A. I don't think that's
I'm just so in between. I need to make a decision. You know what? I'm sticking with B. So there's 3 B's and 2 A's.
Okay.
B+ though, like you guys said.
That's fair.
Okay. The first Avengers movie.
I think A for Avengers.
A, yeah.
Yeah. No, for what that had to do.
Like, I do think, like, I enjoyed it, but the hype was so huge. It was like, this is the greatest comic book movie ever made. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I didn't think that, but it was so impressive what they pulled off, and the way they pulled it off, and the size of it at the time. And even though all the effects didn't always look real, they looked good and they were fun, and the chemistry with all of them was great.
The chemistry is what kind of saved it, I think.
Yeah,
because the plot was only like
and the action was pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but like even the action, if it wasn't for the way they interacted all well together, I don't think it would have been as successful. I think like really their chemistry like helped it a lot.
Okay,
it's an A for me.
A. So is that 3 A's then for all of you?
I'd say.
See, I feel like for me personally, it's probably just nostalgia. I put it in an S. Like it probably is just nostalgia and like the breadth of what it accomplished when it first came out. But I will go ahead and put it in A because it's
what did Walter say?
Oh, you're right. I mean, no matter what, it's still 3 A's, 1 S. He said A. Avengers is an A for him. So
yeah, I mean, I think especially with what's coming down the line, even with other Avenger movies and stuff like that.
In my head, I'm just comparing it to other Avengers movies.
Like, Age of Ultron, you're not going to top that. It's just not.
Right, exactly. That's what we were thinking of.
I'm a monster.
All right, Iron Man 3.
3?
Which one was 3?
That's the
Iron Man 3.
Oh, right. I remember actually.
Guy Pearce, the Mandarin.
C. Yeah, no, I think C is fair. There are parts of it I like so much I'd be willing to throw it at a B-, but I wouldn't argue with C either.
Yeah, it's another one where it mostly just rides Robert Downey Jr.'s great chemistry and acting and stuff. But there's one or two other things. I do like, I know, Rob, you feel the same way, the scene where he has the chemistry with the boy.
Yes, I thought that was the best shit in the movie.
Yeah, like what kid would be like
literally the Iron Giant for a little bit.
Yeah, like oh my god, I got a superhero like in my room, stuff. Holy smokes, and I'm helping him out and everything, and he's a little inventor, and he gets a lab at the end and everything. He even shows up at the funeral in in Endgame. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like,
The Mandarin thing wasn't. I didn't give a shit as much as some people did, just because the Mandarin's never been one of my favorite supervillains. But it also wasn't that interesting either. What they did with Ben Kingsley.
That's a little.
So, yeah, it was funny, but there's a lot of that movie that's just kind of like, eh. I did like seeing Pepper Potts in the outfit for a while.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
It was cool that she comes back in it later too, in the other movies.
Yeah.
I'd say probably C.
Okay, C for Rob. Doug?
Yeah, it's C for me.
Tamara?
I think C for me as well.
Okay, great. C for me too. There we go. Just solidly stick it in C.
Wait, I wanted Walter wanted.
Okay, where did it go? I've lost my spot. Iron Man 3, he put a B.
Oh, really? Okay,
He put a B.
I guess I liked it more than us. All right.
I guess he did. That's all right.
Wow. Lame.
All right. Thor the Dark World.
F.
S.
No. D.
Really? That
D.
high?
Interesting. Why D?
Okay, there's two things. One, I thought the annoying side characters, like, at least it felt briefer to me, because it wasn't entirely a fish out of water story. The other thing is, I did like the early bit with all of the weird anomalies going on that they kind of discovered, but maybe I'm being too gracious with D, but I'm not going any higher than that.
You know, I'll give it this. I'll raise mine to an E simply because Loki's in it, and he's always a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Always
But
Loki.
yeah, man, outside of that, I cannot think of much.
As Macbeth
Yeah.
said, D for Dark World.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I would put it in E. I think it's worse than Iron Man 2.
B? No. No way would this be a B movie. Sorry, I was
E.
reading chat. Oh, okay.
E like everyone.
Listen,
everyone thinks it should get E.
What a waste of Chris Eccleston.
Yeah. Okay, so Rob was E as well, or were you D? Like Dog?
I mean, I'd say D,
You were
but
D.
I'm not going to argue.
Doug, you
E
said
either.
E because Loki.
Yeah, look, E.
Loki. Okay, I'm gonna tentatively put it in E and see what Walter said.
Tamara, you were E, right?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, sorry. Well, say E.
Walter gave it a C?
What?
Wow.
Okay. Remember, this movie got good reviews when it came out. This is the one I hold over everybody. I'm like, you all scoffed at me when I said this movie was shit. But yeah, then Ragnarok came out, and everybody's like, oh, maybe that did suck.
So I mean, with Walter putting it at a C, does that mean we should put it in D or just leave it in E?
Don't do that. Tamara said F. Tamara said F.
So long as it's not C, I'm okay. D is as high as I'm willing to go. That's my final offer.
Well, you and Doug and Heather said E, right?
Yeah, we did.
So 2 E's, 1 D, 1
1
C.
C.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I
Mhm,
see.
mhm,
I see
mhm.
the math.
He's not here though, so I guess we're just leaving it in E.
I like that.
Next time, don't be out of town, Walter.
I'm not gonna argue it.
All right, the next one that is down here is Captain America: Winter Soldier.
That's a good, solid B, maybe A.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's so funny because I think you like that movie more than I did when it came out. I was gonna put it in A.
I'm gonna say A.
I think it was the first one that kind of felt like a spy flick,
Yeah,
and I like that.
so
It's the first
Winter-
one where I really started to love Black Widow.
No,
Like I really
I'll
liked her in
tell you-
Avengers, but this one I'm like, this character's awesome.
I'll
Me
tell you
too.
what Winter Soldier's problem is. I think it's the first one by the Russo brothers, and the thing is, they've just had Civil War afterwards. You've got Infinity War and all that. Like, I kind of forget about Winter Soldier sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that really is a good movie. Like, so
Yeah.
I would say A.
Okay.
Yeah, I put an A.
I say Winter Soldier is S.
Hell
But
yeah,
I agree with
Tamara!
Yeah, you agree, Heather? You think
I
it's an S?
agree. I adored Winter Soldier. It feels
I won't fight that.
it feels like a really fun spy movie. It's well done. Like some of the action's really cool. I don't know. I love Winter Soldier.
I think
You
we're
know, when
just Civil War and Endgame, I'm saving those probably for S, but I mean, I'm not going to fight it if it's an S tier.
You know, when it got to the big finale at the end, the big face-off and stuff like that, it was one of those where I'm like, yeah, I'm with this, but man, I feel like my heart should be pumping. You know what I mean? And it never was. So it's like that's kind of what keeps me from it.
It did give us Hail Hydra.
Yeah, that scene was pretty fucking. How do you make what's his name, Gary Shandling? How do you make
how do you say?
And that did it, man. Oh man, that was like I said, when I gasp in a movie, it's doing something right.
I'm not gonna lie, I crapped my pants a little. There was a little bit of shit that came out. I was like, oh my god, no.
Right, where did Walter put it?
All right, I'm gonna just drop it an A for now. Walter said A, so that would be 3 A's and 2 S's.
All right.
So I guess it's A.
It's a high A.
It's a high A.
Most of the things that are gonna beat it are just things those other two directors have done in this list.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's why I don't feel bad saying it's A.
For sure.
Okay, next is the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, no, that shit's S tier.
S tier for me.
S.
I was gonna say A.
S.
S for me all the way.
That is probably the only one other than the Russo brothers stuff that I'm like, I could throw it on any time of day. I could watch it 100 times. I never get sick of Guardians of the Galaxy. It puts a big smile on my face.
The music is incredible.
Yeah.
See, we're gonna have this same conversation with the second one, because I'm gonna throw the second one in the S tier.
Really?
Second one for me is A tier.
I love the second one.
Me too.
Yeah, but well, I found that some people just have like, I don't know. It's cool that those movies, each one has something that just like grabs somebody, like, oh, like it hits them hard in the heart. It just depends which one.
Yeah, I watched the second one, but I'd be thinking of the first one.
Yeah, see, for me, I'd just be thinking of, oh, I can't wait till to get to the second one. All like the conflicts they have there and all the fucking weird imagery and stuff. But I mean, I like it. I'd still say A, but yeah, I think I'm gonna get outvoted on it.
Okay. You're not, Doug. I also would put it at an A, not an S.
Okay.
That's so interesting that you and I sync up on that one, because I would put Guardians 2 above Guardians 1.
No, you know what it is though? Guardians 2 isn't as stupid. And I love just how
I love the stupid.
No. I love how stupid the first one. Like, okay, yeah, but there's no scene with Ronan just staring at him dancing, going, "What are you doing?" Like, the villain is so dumb in Guardians of the Galaxy. I love it. I can watch him just sit there and monologue all day in that stupid blue makeup.
But he's such a boring villain too. The 1 and 2 is so much more interesting.
He's scary though. I don't know. I love him. I think 1 is S tier, 2 is A tier for me.
So
to me, like, it's just the Guardians 1 is just such the perfect amount of dumb where I love every second of it. Whereas the second one is very, very good in an A tier movie, but I'm like, it takes itself a little more seriously, and that's fine. It can, but I like the first one more.
Me too.
Okay, let me temporarily or maybe possibly leave it in S, and Walter's gonna be our tiebreaker again. All right, Walter, Guardians of the Galaxy, S tier. It's gonna stay in S tier.
Good job, Walter.
Yes, Walter.
Good for you.
That is the thing that I love about Guardians is it took unknown characters and made them into household names. I had no idea who the Guardians were, and I was obsessed with them when they came out.
Yeah.
So it's an idea that's just really stupid and made it so entertaining. Like, I think there was a lot of buzz that just like, I remember at the time there was just this big question mark of just like, I don't know, with this trailer, it looks pretty like sus. Like, this could be really bad. Like we just didn't know for sure. And then like when it came out, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh, C.
I put B. I liked it. Enough. It's obviously not
right when it came out. I would have said B, but for me, it hasn't aged well.
You see, it's funny when I watch it. Part of it is something of the action. When I watched it on a smaller screen, I find I like the layout of the action a little bit more. But but I'd be lying if I said I put it on often. You know what it is? If it was just the movie as is, and I left out one scene, I'd have it in C. But the scene where they spend the time at the cabin with Hawkeye's family and stuff like that, that gave so much soul and so much something I haven't seen really in Avengers yet. And the same thing with the scene at the party where they're all trying to lift the hammer and stuff like that. Like those two scenes are what elevated to a B for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything else makes it a C.
So we've got a C, a B, a Tamra.
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? Okay,
Where
that's
are
fair.
you at?
I'm at B. It wasn't as amazing as the first Avengers was, but I definitely would put it above, like, see, and this is sometimes where I look at this a little bit more relative. Like, I would definitely still put it above, like, Thor and Iron Man 3. It doesn't feel right to be in the same, like, tier as, like, Iron Man 3.
Or Incredible Hulk, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you look at it like that, I don't think that it deserves to be with
All right, well, then move everything down one notch and put Avengers in C. I don't know. It's just whenever it's on TV, like if Avengers 1 is on TV, I'm like, oh man, I gotta watch this. I have yet to encounter a moment where I've seen Age of Ultron on TV or I've thought about it and I'm like, I gotta put that movie on again. Never happens.
It's the Avengers movie I'm going to go to the least, but I don't think that makes it a C.
Again, it's those scenes, those few scenes, or I love it too when they're flying back and it's like, are you okay? Yeah, we're fine. We took a hit. Like there's those couple moments where they really come together as a team that I really like.
See, it's not a must-see, and that's what makes it a C.
Oh, look at that.
Then it's not a must-see, so it must be. B. That is the category.
I mean, I don't remember it at all.
It
did not stick with me, so that's why I'm feeling like it's a C. But
you don't remember the cabin scene when they're at the cabin? That Robert Downey? I don't trust anyone that doesn't have a dark side.
I remember the scene, Doug. I don't remember what they.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Tamra.
I don't remember that scene.
I don't remember what they were talking about.
Okay.
Except for like Black Widow can't get pregnant. That was like some big plot point. And people went nuts over that for one reason or another, and I'm just like, I didn't even care enough.
I like the scene in the cabin. I like the scene at the party, and the action's good. It introduced Scarlet Witch in there too. I like it. I like it just enough. I guess I won't go nuts if it's in C, but yeah. Again, I guess we have 2 and 2, so we gotta. Man, Walter's really been the tiebreaker.
Walter has really been the tiebreaker. Thank goodness that he made this list.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the vice president right now.
Age of Ultron, Walter said, be like boy. So in B it goes.
Okay.
Fuck you, Walter.
I'm kind of glad. I feel like it was on the teeter line for me.
Yeah.
Betrayal. B for betrayal.
B for betrayal. All right. So now we've got the original Ant-Man.
Oh.
B?
I'm leaning towards B.
I remember enjoying it. Yeah.
It's one of the things when you know what happens to the villain now. In future movies, I want to take it down a notch, but I still do like the movie quite a bit. It's just so creative. I love the idea. I think again, it's something where if he just shrunk down, that'd be boring. But the fact they have the same strength when they're small is just so much fun.
I think the characters had a lot of chemistry too, which helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were fun.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I didn't keep track of in my head of who said what for what. So, Rob, what was it for you?
B.
B. Doug?
B.
B. Tamra?
A.
Looking for Ant.
I
A
love
for
this movie.
Ant.
I wouldn't argue against an A. Like that's fine if you want to put it up there, but
I would actually put it in B as well. I would put it in B as well. I could see how it could be an A. It was something different than what we had seen, which is kind of what we needed in that like moment in time in the MCU.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of fondness towards it. but I think it would be like a B+ for me.
Yeah, again, it looks weird next to Winter Soldier, Avengers,
Exactly.
Iron Man.
It's one of the first Marvel films.
It's like, that sounds right. That sounds
one of the first Marvel films where I felt like now we've got kind of the Marvel formula where it's like, this isn't going to be the greatest thing in the world, but you're going to have a good time.
Right, right. Well,
that to me is what a B movie is about. It's like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but you're going to have a good time.
Right. I like what Alexander in chat said, because that's exactly how I would put it. It's just very, very charming.
Yes.
It's a charming little film.
That's a great way to put it.
With a charming little guy.
Paul Rudd is just really, really charming. Like, he just makes you love what you're watching. Yeah, he really does. He is why it's an A for me. So I agree. B works as well.
Okay, so
what did Walter say?
Walter said, are you ready for this? Walter said C.
Oh, okay.
Fuck that guy.
Well, okay, here's why I laugh, because Walter and I had this kind of disagreement when we were talking about some of the DC movies. He gave Ant-Man a C, but he also gave Thor the Dark World a C. So in what world is Thor the Dark World the same level as Ant-Man? In what world? It's not a world I live in.
A world without fun.
A world without fun. God, Walter. All right. That brings us to Civil War.
That shit's S tier.
S, definitely.
That's shit tier, baby.
Yeah, S tier.
Spider-Man's intro.
So good.
That I don't even need to think about that one.
Oh my god, the airport fight.
Yeah, the airport fight still.
The introduction of Black Panther, man, and he's so like, he's the coolest he's ever been.
The airport fight alone makes it S tier. Like, it's one of the few Marvel action set pieces that I like. Maybe some things in Endgame, but otherwise I don't think it's been topped.
Okay, I'm totally fine putting it in S tier, 100%.
It's an S for me, baby.
Yeah, all right. Definitely.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Walter says D. No, I'm just kidding.
What did Walter say, though?
Walter did say S. He also said S.
Okay.
S for sure. All right. That's going to bring us to Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange.
Oh, boy, that one's rough.
See, that's because visually I want to say A, because, man.
Story-wise, B+.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Everything else I probably put.
I don't know. It could end up in either A or, well, what's in B? Ant-Man. B's still pretty solid. I could go A or B. I wouldn't argue either one.
I'd say B for the story and the characters and stuff like that. But just for the visuals, I give it an A. But B sounds right. It should be with Captain America, Ant-Man, and all those.
I would definitely agree with a B. I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but yeah, it was just like, it was another one that was charming and good. Relied a lot on the special effects that actually did make me a little sick in the theater. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's a lot of like world bending and stuff, and I was like,
I will say his accent in that movie also drives me a little nuts.
It drives me bonkers.
I'm like, he got better with the American accent, but I remember the first time he started speaking in that movie, I was like, whoa, oh no.
It's a little rough in the first movie, absolutely.
Am I enunciating enough?
Yeah.
It's like just overdone.
Very House.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, very House. That's a good way to put that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like B is a fair place to put it.
Tamara, did you say?
I never saw it.
Oh, okay, sorry. What did Walter say, though?
Walter said B.
Okay.
Doctor Strange, a B. So, there you go.
I think it's fair.
All right, Guardians Volume 2.
S,
Interestingly
baby.
enough, we already know where some of us fall
For
on
me,
this
it's
one.
A, but if it ends up in S, I'm not gonna.
Totally an S, man. Oh my
Me
god,
too.
You took everything that was in the first film, and you just elevated it. You made it more interesting. It's still funny. It's still goofy, but it has this great.
Hey,
weight
remember
to
when
it.
I was a bad guy, y'all? No, we're retconning that.
No. But it's your father.
That was
It
the
wasn't
only
your
thing I'm like,
daddy.
oh, okay, so I'm like, okay, they retconned that.
Come
I'm
on,
like, bullshit.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Come on, have you ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movie? You can do that with pirates.
No, the Mary Poppins line saved that, but what they did with him, I was a little kind of like, okay, if you insist, I guess he was a good guy all along.
I don't know. Well, and that's the thing too. So like, I'll be
I was
honest.
like, I saved your ass. That's why I let everybody beat the shit out of you in the first movie. I'm like, what?
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, from a character that I barely remembered from the first movie to suddenly getting like teary-eyed about him by the end, like that's
they did a good job. I'm not arguing it.
Yeah, they did.
It is one of those things where I'm like, that was a retcon. Like that was not planned.
I mean, even if it wasn't, I loved it, man. Yeah, that one. The sisters fighting in that. I love the ship crashing down and her getting that giant gun and firing, and then they like at some point they both run out of ammo and they just sit down and talk while the ship's on fire. I mean, I love
that is a good point.
Again, I'm not gonna lie. If you put it in S tier, I'm not gonna pitch a fit. I'm just saying
where I'm at as well.
But it's one of those where I'm like, oh no, that's an S tier. I'm like, I'll allow it.
You know what it is too? There's so much visual storytelling too. I'm thinking like when they turned to when they turned to a god, you got first of all, the fantastic villain as opposed to the first one.
Guys,
you
this
got
settles
Kurt
it.
Russell like flying, and then like as this big god, and then like Chris Pratt turns into the Pac-Man. That shows like the differences between them, but it's so funny.
This settles it. You are extra Joe says if it goes in S, I'm gifting 5 subs. So just put it in S.
We do not accept bribes here, Rob.
I can always be bribed.
I was like, we don't accept bribes, and Rob is like, I will always accept a bribe.
100%.
Well, I mean, we already kind of discussed it a little bit. I agree with Doug. I think it belongs in the S tier because in my mind, it's better than the first Guardians movie. It's like, I agree with Doug. It takes everything from the first and just kind of takes it a step above. So we've got 2 S's. Tamara, you said A. Rob, are you committing to the S?
Well, what did Walter say?
Oh, he wants to know what Walter said first.
Oh, suddenly, fuck that guy. He doesn't care. Then suddenly, well, I can't decide.
Well, no, because if Walter puts it in S, then I don't have to worry about being the asshole.
Walter says Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, A.
What a dick.
Hey, you said it too.
I think it's A.
I think it's A. If I'm overruled and you put it in S, I'm not going to care. So
well,
that's how I feel as well.
It would be 3 A's and 2 S's. So
that's great. Literally, you could have all the Guardian movies in the S tier, but no, you selfish people.
But no, but if the A tier people say they don't care if it ends up S, that does give Heather leeway to just be like, fuck it then.
That
Why
is
are you
true.
putting this on me?
No. Because you're the one with the mouse.
Because I'm sick and tired of the internet always being after me. It's your turn.
All right. There.
Yeah, take that. Putting a beloved movie in S tier.
How dare I?
Go sicker, internet.
It kind of makes sense because you had 2 A's that were like, I can go S, it'd be okay. So we put those together, kind of makes an S.
Yeah.
All right. We are. I'm canceling Heather. Gosh darn it, Sika. We are on to Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, that one's rough. A.
Yeah. I'd probably say B, knowing what's coming later.
Yeah, it's tough because whoever said C. Oh my god, these people saying C. Yikes.
Well, because again, I think they know the movie's coming later and what Spider-Man does later. But for me,
there's no way I could go C. Yeah, because it's got Michael Keaton in it. It can't be a C movie.
And he's legit pretty scary in some scenes. That taxi cab, that twist.
Yeah.
Was so good.
Done. A or B for me. Like if I was gonna give one of them a C, it would be the second one.
It's an A all the way for me, for sure.
Okay.
I love Spider-Man. I'm gonna say it's an S for me. I fucking love him as Spider-Man. I love all of those movies so much. I'm surprised that we're all so low.
It's because at least for me, that would have been my third Spider-Man that I have to watch. And
I mean, same.
And they went weird and backwards with the origin story. Like
wasn't there yet.
I'm not sure. Like I kind of got the Stark instead of Uncle Ben thing a little bit, but that was weird. And then they kind of did the Uncle Ben thing with Aunt May. Anyway, yeah, that was sucker. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna go A.
Okay. A.
I think I'm gonna say A.
I'm a B, but if it goes into A, I'm okay with it.
Tamara, you said S. I am also going to agree with A. I don't think it's quite an A. I mean, S rather. I don't think it's quite an S. And I would definitely watch Spider-Man Homecoming before I would watch Ant-Man or Age of Ultron again. So, like, I feel like
that's part of it. When I was looking at the list in B, I'm just like, no, I am more likely to watch Spider-Man. Spider-Man again.
So it would be an A for me. So I think overall that would put us in an A. But let's see what Walter said. Oh gosh, sorry. Y'all saw a flash of my wedding picture. Spider-Man Homecoming. Walter agrees with Tamara S.
Whoa, really? Yeah, that brings it down.
Not after seeing the third one. That's got to go S tier for me.
Yeah, I think if you were all saying S, I would want to bring it down to an A. I feel like it deserves to be an A, but I personally have it as an S. But I think overall it deserves to be an A. But I freaking love that movie. Gosh, I would watch it over Iron Man, Avengers, the first Avengers, Captain America, Civil War, or sorry, the first Captain America. Like, you know what I mean? I would watch it before those A's. So.
Yeah. Okay. A it is. Thor Ragnarok.
Well, that shit's A at least.
Yeah, yeah, I really like it. I don't know, is the story the most complex? No. But it is just so entertaining, and the imagery is just
much closer
so
to
great.
The Thor kind of attitude I wanted.
And it's big, and it's epic, and it's imaginative.
It's got no Natalie Portman in it.
I'd probably say A.
A, okay.
And by the way, it's not that I think Natalie Portman is terrible in everything she's in. She's great in some things, but if she's not into it, it's just so clear she's doing it for a paycheck and she doesn't give a shit. It bugs the crap out of me. And those first two Thor movies, it's just like a non-performance.
I would agree with A. I would put it in A. It's funny. It's just a good romp. But it's well structured and still kind of character focused.
Yes.
But
he's why my greatest champion.
It's an S for me for sure.
Okay.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know you liked it that much. That's good.
I love that movie.
I won't argue an S.
So wait, Rob, though, were you an A or an S?
I would say I'm an A, but if you put it in S, I'm not gonna care.
Okay.
It's got to be an A. I mean, it's like, again, I feel like the movies on top there have like some weight to them. They're like beyond just being a good time, and it's like Thor's a phenomenal time, but there's not much.
It is. That's like
fair.
The plot overall is just garbage.
That's super fair.
But it is, and it's self-aware that it's just a romp.
Yeah, so but man, is it a romp? Oh, I'm just a sucker for a romp.
Yeah, no, me too.
I totally agree.
So that's why I put it in S, but I understand. I think you're right. I think that makes sense.
Walter said A. So there we go.
I know, Valkyrie. Oh
hell yeah, Valkyrie.
As Andre the Black Nerd said, Ragnarok is like a live-action Saturday morning cartoon stretched to an hour and a half.
Yes!
Great way to put that.
That's what makes it great.
All right, we are on to Black Panther. Wakanda forever. No, just regular Black Panther, not the.
I love the kind of Chicago way you say Wakanda forever. The Midwest way you say, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely.
A or S, like. It's tough because the last third of that movie isn't as strong as. But Michael B. Jordan's so fucking good. And
it's weird because I'm looking at. I was gonna say between A and B, but then I'm looking at the ones in B. I'm like,
no. I think
it's better than that. It should probably be.
I think minimum it's an A. For me, it's between A and S.
Mine is A.
Okay.
I say A. For any other reason, somebody now everybody's bringing it up, but man, did they nail it? They said the Black Panther in this is not the same Black Panther from Civil War, and I think I would have liked it more if it was the Black Panther from Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are written different, but everyone else is written so goddamn good. And the world is so cool and everything. And the villain, it's like one of the first really good villains we've gotten since like probably Keaton's character in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I really like.
I like it.
really like the villain. I would say A, though for me it would be like an A+.
I would say A as well. Teetering on an S, like you're saying, Rob, like A+.
Yeah. It's the third act was a letdown.
The effects and everything.
Yeah, because I'm like so much. It seemed like so much effort went into the first 2/3 that was a letdown. But it did give me the phrase "Tolkien white guys," and that alone makes me put it in an A.
Love that. Love that. All right, so most of us agree A. Walter also said A, so thank you, Walter. I'm going to take a really quick look at some of these bit messages and subs and stuff because we have not looked at them for a while. Your Extra Joe, thank you so much for being true to your word and gifting those 5 subs because Guardians went to Volume 2. That was that random squeaking laugh you heard from me, probably.
Okay.
Is that,
for the record, Heather will not accept bribes.
We totally will.
And she has control, so don't think that you can bribe her.
No. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Volume 2 belongs in C tier. Interesting.
How dare you?
Interesting.
Wow,
No. Just no.
Coburn, thank you for the 100 bits. Only thing related to Marvel that matters is Blade and the Punisher.
The original, like, Dolph Lundgren Punisher? I'm sure.
Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. The soundtrack for Volume 3 was just revealed. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Some great tracks on there. Question for all of you, what's your favorite song used in the first 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
So, I don't know if it counts, but in the trailer, I do love the way they used Hooked on a Feeling. Just the way they got the chun, 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 you know, just with like the trailer sound effects. I still have them. Whenever I hear that song now, I have to hear that chun, chun in there all the time.
It's the Jackson 5 song at the end of the first one.
Okay.
I'm having like a senior moment here. My brain's not clicking, but that one, like the way the movie ended was just like perfect with the music, and it was like a perfect montage. So put a big smile on my face when I saw it.
Big Mac, thank you for the 100 bits. Loki scenes are enough to bump Dark World from a 1 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10 for me.
Well, let's not jump to numbers.
Let's not be too hasty.
He is pretty entertaining. He's like Tim Curry. If the movie gets a 1 star, that's the reason he got the 1 star.
Yeah.
The Dead Man Jax, thank you for gifting that sub to Andy888. Appreciate that. Thank you. And your Extra Joe, thank you for the 50 bits. It wasn't a bribe. It was an act of celebration.
No. Legally, you got to say it was a gift.
There you go. Legally distinct. Okay, moving on here. We are at Infinity War.
S.
100%.
Yeah, I gotta go S.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I don't know. When I think of like comic book movies, big and epic and shit's getting real, but it's kind of like Empire Strikes Back, where there's like a big to be continued and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. That's everything I always hoped. Like
my thing always is I liked it. I liked it more than the Avengers, and if that's A tier, then that means Infinity War has to be an S.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, Thanos. God, I really thought they were not going to deliver on Thanos. Like, they built him up too much, but they just waited too long. They lost their chance. And then, like, when he showed up, they just made him so goddamn interesting. And the effect was so good as well. You could still see, like, the performance through the CG, and the CG didn't look bad. It actually had, like, a lot of
because the CG was rough getting there. Anytime he appeared outside,
he looked awful,
movies, he looked like a chewed purple eraser.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, they made it so good.
Well, good. We all agree. S. Even Walter says Avengers Infinity War, S. Yeah, it was like a defining comic book movie. Like, it set the standard for a while, so.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't Ant-Man and Wasp is next, right? I think it says, it should be Ant-Man and Wasp. That came out in between Infinity War and...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was meant to necessarily be in order, but yeah, we can do...
but I think it mostly is. Yeah, there's only 1 or 2 that aren't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually, for the most part, pretty much in order.
Okay. All right, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
See,
Really?
I don't.
Oh, I,
I don't
I
remember
thought it was
anything
B.
about it.
Oh my god, I remember the climax where they're like he's
I love this
skateboarding on
movie.
the bus. I remember when Michelle Pfeiffer takes over his body and he talking to his daughter, like touching her face like that, which was both so touching and funny at
So
the same
funny.
time. I remember throwing the salt and making it big. I remember that ghost person that could go in and out of cars, which just made the growing bigger and smaller. So funny. Yeah, no, I honestly, to me, I was almost.
That's all you. For me, it was one of those movies that it was kind of in and out.
And see, for me, I was like in between like A and B, but
I
looking out.
didn't hate it. Like, but that's one of those classic. Like, yeah, that's a Marvel movie, and I just kind of moved on.
Oh,
I love the creativity and the humor of it. For me, I'd probably say B. B probably makes the most sense.
Okay.
I like this one so much more than the first one, and I really liked the first one. I
Mm.
would watch this before the first one in an instant. This was my first big cosplay that I ever made. I did a Wasp helmet.
Oh, that's right. It looked good. I remember that. It looked
Thank
really
you.
good.
So I was just very into it when it came out. I haven't seen it since then, but from what I felt at the time, it was A for me for sure.
I do like it more than the first one. I would watch it like I wouldn't have to even think about it. Oh yeah, the second one. That one's so much fun.
Yeah.
But again, it does feel weird putting it with like Avengers and Iron Man and stuff like that. So,
it does. It really does.
So B, it would probably make.
I would at least argue B. Like,
Okay.
Put it in B.
I would agree with B. I'm not sure if it's quite C for me.
I don't think it's as bad as any of the others that are in C. So if you want to do B, that's fair. I'm looking at what's in C right now, and I'm like, yeah, I guess it's better than those, but.
Okay. Walter did agree with you, Robin. He did put it in C.
Yeah, it just in one ear, out the other, and like I didn't hate it. I don't remember going, that was terrible, but I just was like, yeah, that was a movie, and moved on.
All right. Oh, they had Endgame next year, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Endgame.
And
F, hard F. That's S tier.
S tier for me for sure.
oh, good.
I cried so hard when I watched this movie. The 6-year-old who was sitting next to me asked me if I was okay.
That's so Tamara.
I'm a little bit in between A and S, which I know is blasphemous. Only
Someday
because
you'll be a grown woman child too, and you'll.
The only reason being, and it's earned this though, so I get it, is that it does feel like an extended cut, but that can get in the way of a movie. But at the same time, it's why I give Return of the Kings all their endings leeway, because it's like, well, you earned it, you worked up to it.
That's a good way to put that. Yeah.
There's some things
man, that last third is just
there's some things I don't like in it. However, that final fight.
Are you kidding?
Is so incredible and just so like.
And the ending too. I mean, even after
the ending,
fight.
like for me, the moment that made me misty-eyed was the heart of Stark that they put on the little thing. It said proof that Tony Stark has a heart. And when they set that sailing, I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. I
know. Yes. There were so many great moments in that movie that were just like had me shouting. Like I was really lucky with the audience I saw it in. It was a very active audience. And it was
Us
just
too,
so God, it's so fun when that happens.
When they said Avengers Assemble, just the whole crowd roared.
And I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, I get goosebumps about that scene thinking about it too. So despite the fact that it does have problems and it's paced a little weird, it's a little long, and the first half is just such a like, oh my god, it's a bit of a slog. Its second half completely makes up for it.
Yeah, I you know what it is? It's the Frost Nixon interviews. Like the last tape is so good in my
wow.
So
you went with that reference.
No, but like it's so important where it's like it just erases any problems that
Doug pulling out the 70s reference.
So I'll say S. I'll agree with you. Yeah, I'll say S.
It's easy yes for me. Yeah, for sure. Walter agreed with the S as well. So.
Oh, you're right. When you're like, let's see, Endgame is next. And I was like, well, yes, and the next one. I forgot Captain Marvel was in there too.
Yeah. There are other ones in between. This list just is not accurately in order. It's fine.
It's close though. It's pretty close.
It is. It's close enough for me. But I know it's annoying you occasionally in chat as well. All right. The next one they have here is Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home.
B. For me, anyway.
It's an S all the way for me. I love the Spider-Man movie so much. I know that is not everyone's opinion though, and I respect it completely. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
To me, if we gave the other one A, then I feel like to me the sequel's about one step below, so it's a B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know,
and you can damn well guarantee the third one's going in S tier for me. So
sure.
It's funny because when it first came out, I kind of saw this as better than the first one, but now looking back, and I do like it. It is good, but like knowing where it goes and what they do with it, it's like, maybe I would put it in B as well. I'm leaning towards that because again, I mean, you have the thing with Tony Stark, but that's about it in terms of like.
The only thing it did, the only thing was it outed Peter Parker at the end. And I can't give it the movie props for doing something in the last 5 seconds that admittedly was a great payoff in the third one. But I'm like, that was 5 seconds of movie. Otherwise, like, yeah, the Tony Stark bit was okay, but everything else, I'm like, it's fine.
You know what it's doing? It's continuing everything the first one did, it's continuing that, which is good. I like that first one. But it's like, yeah, it didn't, aside from the Tony Stark thing, it didn't add too much new outside of the Tony Stark. And then just that ending, which again, I think was an end credit sequence, so does that even count? I'll say B.
Well, I accidentally clicked there. Okay, B. I agree with B as well. I agree with what Rob said, that if I'm thinking about it in comparison to the first movie, I would say it's like just a small step below the first Spider-Man movie, Homecoming. I would agree with B.
Well,
I think that's incredibly fair. I just love it so much.
I think that's incredibly fair, but fuck y'all.
I'm sorry for tilting our thing so wildly.
I love it. That would be 3 B's and an A. And Walter did say S. I'm so sorry. Tara, no.
Did you hear my 3 no's? No.
An S, bitch. Walter said Spider-Man Far From Home. B.
Okay.
B.
Yeah, that checks out.
That tracks. That
feels right.
Okay, Captain Marvel.
B for go woke, go broke, yo. if I'm being really honest, like I did not like that movie. C or D for me.
D for me.
Okay.
Yeah, D. I could give it a D pretty easily. I knew we were in huge trouble when my wife turned to me in the second half and was like, "Is this supposed to be good at some point?" I'm just like, "Whoa, honey, like you better look out. You're gonna get chased off the internet for thinking that." But I
just thought it was boring, and
that's what my wife thought.
Yeah, and everything else we've seen before. The only thing that keeps me from honestly putting it in like an E or an F. Well, F, it's not offensive by any means. It wouldn't be F. And the reason I don't put it next to Dark World is because sometimes, what's her name? Brie Larson, is that her name?
Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when she's just like acting normal, like she's trying to like work around that world in the 90s.
Elements
like,
of something
okay.
good. Yeah, trying to break out.
But when she's trying to be a hero, it's really weird.
Well, it was the directors. My 2 biggest problems. The directors were clearly out of their depth. It reminded me of Super Mario Brothers, where you could just tell these directors didn't know exactly what they were doing. And 2, the story was told all backwards, where like you didn't have an idea of who this was. I felt no connection to her, and then they give you those parts like at the very end, with that flashback to her as a little girl. I'm like, I'd rather just see this kid's life at this point than what's going on in the present.
Maybe if they told in order, but I just remember her acting being real. Whenever she had to be a hero, it felt really weird. But whenever she had to like be comedic,
was better in Endgame. That's my problem. I'm like, I thought the Russo brothers knew how to direct her better.
Okay. So, Rob, what was your grade? Your grade was a C or a D, or what was it?
I'm gonna say D.
What was it?
D.
D. Okay, Doug, you said?
I'll say D.
D. Okay, like dog. All right.
Mm.
Camera.
I'm at C.
I'm at C as well. I don't know. I feel like it got a lot of hate for just being fine. You know what I mean? Which after, like, honestly, having all of the movies that we just saw, like, one after the other, like, some like, really good stuff, I think it just felt worse than it was.
It's the boring factor.
The hate for me
It
is
is
the
boring.
boredom.
It is boring. But I also think, like, I would much rather watch that movie again, and I don't think you guys are going to agree with this, but I would much rather watch that movie again than the third Iron Man, which is the only thing in D right now, right? I would much rather watch it.
Second Iron Man is in D.
Sorry, yeah, I would much rather watch Captain America.
Marvel.
To me, they're about equal because I find
You heard what
Iron
I said.
Man.
I stand by it.
No,
Well,
but
see,
again,
But
Robert
see, for
Downey.
me, and this is why I would give it a D. Iron Man 2's biggest sin is that I find it boring as fuck, and I can't remember a single thing about it except for Mickey Rourke talking to a parrot. And Captain Marvel, I remember a little more. I give Captain Marvel that, but generally for me, it's the same problem. It's just boring as fuck. Like, to me, being boring in a Marvel movie is the worst thing you can do, because I should at least be mildly entertained.
I understand that, yeah. And, like, also, I think it's skewed higher for me because there is a beautiful orange alien cat. So
the cat was the best thing.
That's a huge deal for me.
I did forget one other thing that I did like. I like the, without going into too much detail, the aliens in it, the green aliens, when you found out what their story was and everything. I thought that was a little interesting.
Yeah, I liked that too.
I like I said, I don't remember much else. I remember it being awkward. The out of order thing didn't do much for me. So, I'm probably at D. So what, we got 2 Ds and 2 Cs?
We got 2 Ds, we got two Cs. Walter Benaziac says Captain Marvel, D.
D for Doug is right.
Look at what the patriarchy has done.
That was like my most disliked video ever uploaded.
Was it really?
Camera just saw Captain Marvel, and it's just I didn't hate it. So people were like, "You absolute bitch."
The internet, man.
Wow, the internet.
People who liked it fine, and they got a lot of hate for it too.
Yeah, everyone got crucified for not hating it.
What kills me is if you did like it, though, you also would get crucified from a different crowd. So
yeah,
true. There was no fucking winning.
And it wasn't worth going to bat for, because it was just an okay film.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what bothers me. It's not worth, like, I wish it was worth going to bat for, but, like, that's what my wife said. She's like, just annoys me, because if it was worth going to bat for, then I could get righteous about it. But she's like,
completely.
If it was so bad, you could be like, no, it's a piece of shit. Or if it was so good, it's like, no, y'all are wrong. But no, it's like a very meh movie. Yeah.
I'm gonna pause for a second and look at some of these bit messages, because we have a few that have filtered in here. Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. The one thing I'll say about Captain Marvel is that the soundtrack is for the 90s what Guardians of the Galaxy was for the 70s.
I can see that.
I remember it being okay.
Climmer, thank you so much for the 25-month subscription. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Do you guys remember the Got Milk commercials that featured the Avengers? It's freaky how close they got to the current Avengers.
No, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
I do not. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Endgame is A tier. The climax is the only thing people praise about the movie. Granted, it's an amazing climax, but come on. Thor Bowski was awful.
I didn't mind it too much, but I agree. It's not my favorite, but I don't know, man. Everything else in there, and again, it felt like an extended cut, but still good extended cut. You know what I mean? And like I said, the last third, it really does help a great deal.
Cameron Blythe, thank you for the 50 bits. Infinity War and Endgame are both in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Both amazing movies.
I concur.
They're fantastic. True. All right, cool. And again, like I said, I do know that this list has a couple of the shows on it. And if we have time, we may get to it. But we're just going to focus on the movies here.
We might be able to.
We might be able to.
Yeah. That'd be fun. It'd be fun to do those.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to get into like fisticuffs and some of those.
Yeah, let's get
through
the movies first.
All right, Black Widow.
Low. C or D. I don't know.
I'd say C. I actually liked it good enough. But I like that character, and I like her as that character a lot. I like the side
I just
characters
was
a lot.
burned. I got burned so bad with what they did in Infinity War, and then the movie comes out after, and like, so I was going into it already in a sour mood. I'll admit it.
I get
fair.
that.
But I love Black Widow as a character, and I was just like, oh, come on.
But I like the side characters a lot too, and I like them in the same way that like when Batman '89 came out, people were like, well, it's more about the Joker than Batman. And it's like, but no, that's the thing. That's kind of the character. I like that the side characters almost overshadow her, but you see where she comes from, and she doesn't talk much, but you can read the expressions. I love when they just sit around the dinner table and they just talk about why they're all so fucked up. Like, that's just my favorite stuff in there. And the action, honestly, is it's kind of the stuff that loses me.
If it had been before Infinity War, I might have been more hospitable to it, but I can't go higher than C. I'll let you guys duke it out if you want C or D, but I ain't going higher than C.
I think it's definitely better than D. I can't quite put in a B. There's too many things wrong to put in a B, but I like C.
Okay. I would agree with C. I wanted so much more from a girl Natasha, and it was just disappointing. And obviously it came out at a weird time in the world as well, being released in 2020, and like I never saw it in the theaters, and I don't know. I wanted
love Natasha.
so much
That's
more
why
for
it
it.
annoys me. Yeah, I wanted so much more for that character, and to come out after everything they did with that character, like everything about it rubbed me the wrong way. It just really did.
Yeah. Like they could have done so much more with Yelena and Taskmaster, and like
I was gonna say,
I don't know.
After playing that Spider-Man game and they have Taskmaster in that game, I didn't even play a ton with that character, but I'm like, oh, that's definitely not the one from Black Widow.
No.
Yeah.
Like that's a totally different thing.
Right. So I just.
Did you see it, Tamara, or no?
I didn't see it. I didn't see anything after Endgame unless it's Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
So
I'm not sure if you've missed all that much.
I
Really.
haven't. I missed. I haven't seen Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, and this one.
All right, so that's something. That's a
and
couple.
we have Eternals and Shang-Chi too. Don't forget about those. People often forget they exist, but they do
Right.
exist.
I haven't seen those.
All right. So I guess it's just gonna end up in C. Walter also gave Black Widow a C. I wanted it. I was so upset. I wanted it so much better than it was, but oh well. It is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Shang-Chi is next then.
Oh my god.
Wow, that was a strong reaction. Oh my god.
No, because it's okay. Because it's so. It's
That's a
really
reaction
tough.
to Shang-Chi.
No, it's really tough because I didn't think it was a bad movie. But if you throw it against some of the other Marvel ones, I'm like, is it really deserve to be next to like Ant-Man, Captain America, or do I just stick it in C? But I'm like, well, is it really as bad as everything in C? Because to me, it's like one of those solidly in a B, C area.
Yeah, me too. I lean towards C if for any other reason. The characters are okay, they're passable. A lot of it's just typical Marvel stuff, but the martial arts, I didn't like the way it was filmed. And it's the first martial arts Marvel movie, and that really got under my skin.
See, the thing is, I liked
really be able
the
to
first
see it.
half of the martial arts I thought were pretty solid. But then you get to the conclusion where it's just like, oh, the same CGI fest and
Flying around dragons and stuff.
Yeah, where so I'm just like, I don't know where to rank it because I'm just like I could go either B or C.
Yeah, but I agree. It's a perfectly fine, movie. Like, okay, there. If you just want to see a Marvel movie with some martial arts and Chinese dragons flying around, a couple jokes, fine. That I really like when martial arts is done well in movie. I've been spoiled by like Jackie Chan movies and stuff like that.
Well, exactly.
So.
And when it was at its best, it had a Jackie Chan feeling in a couple of those fights.
Well,
and then I wanted more of that.
Like comedy, yeah. But again, I now it's just totally fine. So I'd probably put it in like the C category.
I would put it in B. I think I had a lot more fun with this movie than other people did. I thought that it started off the trend of trying to like, not started off, but like was trying to do something different and pretty much succeeded enough that I would definitely put it up with the original Doctor Strange and Ant-Man in terms of an origin story in Marvel. It was definitely a B for me.
I'm gonna say C. Final.
I say C, but if it was
C
B,
plus,
I'm not gonna be like or anything like that. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean my vote's still C, but yeah, we can see what Walter says.
Okay, so we got 2 C's, a B, a haven't seen it, and Walter says Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, B like boy.
Oh, okay. So I mean, you do have Rob. Did you say if it went to B, you wouldn't mind, or?
I mean, I could also put it to a poll in chat between B and C.
Let's let chat. Let's let chat.
Yeah, let's let them do it. That's fine.
Let's let chat. Okay.
I'm in a very strong C plus kind of. It
Okay.
could be a B minus.
Let me get this poll. I'm only gonna put 2 options, B or C. That's all you're gonna get, chat. B or C. No additional votes allowed. 1 minute of voting time. Watch the poll. There it is. It's at the top of your. It's at the top of your chat. It's at the top of your chat. Don't just type it in chat. It's at the top of your chat.
I just realized whenever I point, as I usually go like this, but now I realize because of the meme, I should probably go point like that.
Well, it looks like we're going with B.
Well, maybe not. No, it's 34-9 right now. But hey, we've got 150 people watching. Come on, chat. Vote. Top of your chat.
Exercise your right on this election day.
It is actually. It is an election.
Exactly. And I'm voting for my favorite Marvel movies. Like an American.
Like a true American.
I am America's ass.
Are you now?
Doug, you definitely are America's ass.
I know. I know what I said.
Okay, chat has spoken.
Overwhelmingly B.
All right.
Overwhelmingly B. Thank you, chat, for having my back. All right, fantastic. Eternals is next.
Oh, F.
I did that in the best way. F.
I know. I watched that movie stoned, and it still didn't do anything. In fact, watching it stoned made it so much worse because it's already a slow movie, and time went so slow when I was watching it. I swear it was going backwards.
That's what. So you gotta watch it sober and just question why. I don't know. I had a blast with this movie, but this really is one of those where it's so bad it's bad. And I know I'm the only one on the planet who thinks that. There's just something about the way this movie was directed and the way they all talked and the tones and stuff like that, where it was just so one note and one beat. And then the few times they tried to put in humor, it was still that, drone one beat that was so odd. Even the humor was dramatic and melody. I loved it, but it's a pure F. Total F.
Fuck me in the ass just to wake me up. Get an 800-pound gorilla and fuck me in the ass just to wake me up from that coma.
I love the scene where they're just at the dinner table and like the guy's out and making fun of one of the other characters and she like turns him into a baby. And he just looks down. He's like, "Oh, I'm a baby." And it's just so fucking awkward and weird. Like, there's so many scenes like that. Just like, what are you doing, movie?
Hated this movie.
I had a blast, but it's a
fantastic.
Hey, honey, what did you think of the Eternals? She just said, "Oh my God, no."
Okay. I don't know if I would jump to absolute F so fast.
Something's got to be the lowest.
Something does have to be the lowest.
Oh, that's easily the lowest for me.
I mean, personally, I would put it.
I hated WandaVision, and I still think that Eternals is a hard F.
Okay. Eternals is a hard F. I get it. I still would have put it in just like E because I did appreciate kind of what they were trying to do, but they failed miserably at what they were trying to do.
I agree. I
only appreciated that it ended at some point.
I'm going by the scale here of other Marvel movies and stuff like that. I do agree, and I honestly wished it worked because I would have loved to seen this setup, this style. Would have liked to seen a little bit more serious and more dialogue heavy, and like these creatures have been on the planet since like the beginning and stuff like that. What effect would that have? That'd be really really interesting. You would think with that director and everything that would work. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's to me, it cooks in the kitchen.
I would rather clean out all of the toilets in Grand Central Station with my tongue than watch that movie again.
You would rather watch that Thor movie though, the second Thor, than Eternals.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
all right.
one
That's
movie
all I need to
boring
know.
as it was, went faster.
That's
that
all
movie,
I need to know.
That movie did have Loki again.
It's the
If
only
Eternals
it's the
had
only
Loki,
movie
that'd be
more boring than Thor 2 or Iron Man 2.
Okay. All right. I love that.
Yeah.
What'd Walter say?
Walter said D, but I think maybe he didn't know F was an option. I don't think I remembered that there was an E on this. That was my bad.
I didn't know.
This one I will fight for F and only F.
Okay, great.
It's the hill I will die on.
Excellent.
There has to be a bottom, and that has to be it.
Yeah,
That has
yeah.
to be it.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, we are on to Spider-Man.
Oh, that's S tier.
Yeah, totally S. 100%.
S tier for sure.
Yeah.
Uber S.
All right. I mean, maybe controversial. I would have put it in A, not S. But if
okay.
everyone else is gonna say No Way Home is S, we'll put No Way Home in S.
Okay. Well, what knocked it down a notch for you?
I don't even know how to describe it. Like, after the absolute like events that things like Infinity War and Endgame were, this one every now and then like had some odd pacing where I was like, it's still not like as great as I would have thought like Infinity War was. It was fun, it was good, but it's still just like
Okay.
That's every Marvel movie post Infinity War, so this is easily the best of those, I think.
okay.
Like, it's been a problem for Marvel after Infinity War, and I think
True.
at hardcore, this is the best one of the new set.
Except for Ant-Man and Wasp. Again, it never felt long, it never felt boring. But yeah, no, I love it. That's my favorite live action Spider-Man. Absolutely love it.
Okay. And I mean, all three of you are an S. Walter is also an S. So
The only thing that could bring it down for me to an A would be I didn't like the hard reset at the very, very end. Because I hate starting over with romances and stuff. I'm like, either it's like, okay, well, we're just going to chuck that aside, or we're going to have to start over. And I hate it when movies do that. So that was the only thing that irked me. Everything else, though.
I have to wait and see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause it could-
everything else.
Retroactively, it could be a bad thing, but
Yeah,
so
I'm
far, so
hoping
good.
I'm hoping they kind of fix that. But that was the other thing that made me raise an eyebrow. Like, don't do that. But and a couple of the villain things, like, yes, a couple of the villains weren't as good as the others, but there were so many villains. I'm like, we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I really like what Aiko Whale says in chat, though. It's not an especially fantastic movie or anything, but it had God tier fan service.
And it's the way to do fan service, where I really felt
Yeah.
like these were real characters and not just like, hey, we brought back the Nestle Crunch Bar in Ghostbusters Afterlife, like that kind of thing. Like,
I don't know why I really thought like you were gonna say like it's bad. Hey, we brought back the Nestle Crunch Bar for Spider-Man. Like, wait, I'm not.
No, but it wasn't about that. Where it's like, oh, all the tiny Easter eggs. It was like more of character.
No, and it felt loving. It wasn't just, hey, here's a cameo from Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. It's like, no, they're gonna be here to be characters at just the right time you want to see them.
And I hate Tobey Maguire, and I'm just like, oh no, I actually like him in this movie.
But we got Willem Dafoe too, and
yes, he was so good.
With the mask off, man.
Yeah, so much better.
good.
I'm like, oh, finally we get to see him with the mask off. I had dreams about seeing that someday.
And so with him, and then with Doc Ock, and with all of the cameos we got, it just had so much heart to it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they continue that heart on, because I'm with you, Rob. I feel like the reset could be a really bad move, but I'm hoping they continue with the heart into the reset and they find their way back. I don't know.
Camera. Start with the heart.
Heart. But yeah, freaking hell, I loved him.
All right, we are on to Multiverse of Madness.
I'd say B. I
Yeah,
had a good
solid
time with
B.
it.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest movie ever, but it's always fun to see Sam Raimi pulling out some Sam Raimi
Yeah,
again.
I mean, and most of it's Sam Raimi. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a total bias for those crazy camera
Yeah.
angles and stuff. And I do know.
And the ending with Bruce Campbell, that alone makes it B.
Yeah, I do know the issues with it, but I just had a ball. I think it's there to be fun. I had crazy fun. It's there to be a Sam Raimi Doctor Strange movie. I can't say that's not what I got. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I agree. I think it's a solid B. Solid B. Maybe like high B. So.
And Tamara, you saw that one, right, or no?
I
Nope.
haven't seen it because I never saw the first one, but I love
I
Sam
thought you
Raimi. I'm gonna love it.
Honestly, it's almost one of those things where I'm like, you don't even need to see the first one. Just go into this one.
I know who he is as a character. I probably could.
Yeah. No, I mean, the first one's fine. It's fun, but I'm like, man, if you just want Sam Raimi being bonkers with
I
a
do.
crazy budget, it's so great. You're gonna have fun with it.
I know I am. I'm gonna
There's
love
some
it.
great moments, like the reflections in the mirror and the water. That was like pure Raimi, and it was a great little like some jump scares and some action in there and some horror stuff. So
you gotta watch it tonight, Tamara. After this, watch it tonight.
Okay. All right. Amazing.
Amazing. Walter also agreed that it's a solid B.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
there we go. We got that. All right. Thor, Love and Thunder.
I can't. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it
I
either.
thought you because you didn't like it. I would have loved it if it just shut up with the jokes. God damn it.
Everybody's review scared me away from it, so I still haven't.
Yeah.
The jokes just completely assassinated it. If they took him out, it would have been fine. It would have been like a B. And maybe an A if they really took some time for the heart and characters and stuff, but the goddamn jokes, it makes it a D for me.
Interesting, because the lowest I would put it is C. It would be on the cusp of CB for me. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought they still were able to hit some of the emotional moments that they wanted to hit. But I can see how it would get annoying. But like, I am that person. I love the screaming goats. Give me those screaming goats all goddamn day. It was
am too.
hilarious.
I feel like I would like it if I saw it.
Well, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Well,
but I would like it if I saw it.
But there's so many things I was like, I don't know. If you told me, well, yeah, Natalie Portman's back and she's one of the heroes in this, but it's the same guy who did Ragnarok, so there's a lot of humor. I would have assumed I would like the humor over like Natalie Portman, but Portman was good and they gave her a good story, and I thought
That's also why I don't want to see it. I don't want to let go of my hate.
But
I need my hate.
Yeah,
That's
Christian
fair.
Bale is a good villain. Good
Christian Bale is
story.
so good.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
Come
like
on.
setups there that I'm like, oh, I'm ready to like this, and then they're just like, oh, but we gotta be minions, suddenly, and oh, a butt joke or something. It's like, God, just shut up. Oh, I don't know. This is fine. It's finally a movie where the Marvel humor just killed it for me, and I couldn't do it.
Because a lot of people felt that way with Ragnarok.
And some people, yeah, they were saying the humor was too much, and I get that. I totally do. Take Ragnarok and just turn it up to 1,000,000.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just really vibe with Taika Waititi's style of humor. I was like, if it were me, I'd put it into B.
So Jojo
I
Rabbit,
do a lot of times.
But yeah, What We Do in the Shadows, I like all those I love, and he's usually so good at balancing that weird humor and like serious storytelling as well. That's why I was so shocked this one didn't work. I don't know, either he got the idea or somebody told him just turn the humor up more, make it sillier, and I just feel like it backfired. But yeah, that's my take. Oh, actually, what do we do with this? I guess
So,
it's Walter
okay,
the
there is Walter, but Doug, you're saying D, and like the lowest I would put it is like a C plus for me. Let me plop it into D for now and see what Walter says, because I know what it's gonna be, because Walter hated this movie. Walter said Thor, Love and Thunder was a D, so it's just gonna stick in the D,
Well,
I
it
guess.
It is what it is.
It is
A
what it
part
is.
of me does feel bad because, like I said, I do kind of like the dramatic moments in there when they finally pop up. But yeah, Oh, it just, I don't know. It's the first Marvel movie where when I think of the humor, I'm like I actually cringe like thinking about it. You know
I
what
need
I
to
mean?
watch it. I need to
Yeah.
know.
You might
I
love it,
think you'll
Tamara.
vibe with it.
I think I'm gonna love it.
I think you'll vibe with it. All right, so we're on to Wakanda Forever.
I'd say either A or B. Uh,
I
yeah,
also haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
This, like, I swear Thor started the I haven't seen many Marvel movies trend lately for me.
well, I think that's the only other one after Thor. So,
There's Quantumania on here too.
oh, that's true.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Ah, well, look at that. It's just me and you,
I
Doug.
honestly when it came to watching these things on the big screen, I did get a legit Marvel fatigue where I'm just like, I'm kind of out of it at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'm really in between A and B because so many things they did.
I think it's A. If that helps you, I think I would put it into A. I like the first one a little bit better, but I do think it was a really great send-off to Chadwick Boseman. And I like what they did with Shuri's character. I don't know if I'm in the minority with that, but I really liked what they did with Shuri's character in this movie. And I think the worlds that they built in what is it? I don't remember the undersea.
Yeah.
Right. That world was gorgeous and beautiful, and they did a
While
great
still
job
being
with
really
that.
dark and hard to see, which sounds strange. It sounds like an insult, but they actually like do a good job making it feel like, man, you feel the vastness of it, even though a lot of it's very dark.
Angela Bassett in that movie? Come on
yeah,
now.
no, honestly, looking at the movies in B as well, I'm like, no, this is a step above those. And I do like what they did. What's the main character's name? I forget.
Which main character?
Shuri? Yeah, Shuri. I thought they did her about as well as they did Boseman's character. They each had like a piece of the puzzle. Like with her, I thought they had the diplomacy down and the thinking down and stuff with that. And with Boseman, I thought they had like the test of physical strength. You have to fight, you have to blah blah blah. Where here she just like takes a formula and suddenly she's super strong. Like each had a piece of the puzzle, you know, that I think, you know, was there but was also missing in the other. But I think you're right. I think A sounds right, especially like in the B category. I'm like, yeah, no, this is about as good as the first one. I think the action and the effects are so much better too. By God, I just remember the effects of the first one
weren't that great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're much better in this one. Yeah,
someone just said Shadow Link says it's on Disney Plus too. I gotta freaking watch it.
It's good. Namor is so good. The actor who played Namor was very great. Like the performances. I feel like because of maybe them wanting to respect and carry on the legacy of Chadwick Boseman in this, the performances were like leagues ahead of the first one. Like Namor was amazing. Angela Bassett was amazing.
Well,
Shuri.
We got our first Oscar nom, right?
Yeah.
For a Marvel film?
Well, for an acting.
For an acting, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like effects and stuff were.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
But I'm also like, I wouldn't, because the big thing in the movie, I mean, now everybody knows, but it's like, who's going to be Black Panther and stuff like that? I forget her name, but I want it to be the general. I want it to be Michonne. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah, like, it makes sense. It makes sense to go with Shuri and stuff like that. Oh, I really like the character more. It'd be so cool if she was Black Panther, but you know, it makes sense. I'm sure it's in the comic too and stuff like that. I'm not gonna hold that against the movie. I think it's an A.
Okay, and that brings.
What Walter say?
Oh, Walter said B. Black Panther was Wakanda Forever as a B, but if you and I put it at A, it's gonna stay at A.
Gotta be an A.
Last but not least, Quantumania.
Didn't see it.
I heard it wasn't that great though.
It's not. I'd probably put it in D. The world is really cool. I really like that world. I did see it in IMAX in 3D. I like the idea of going to the smaller realm. I like that they were trying to make it bigger, even though it was a smaller world, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They're trying to kind of make it like Star Wars and stuff like that, but it's another one where the humor wasn't that great. It got in the way of a lot. It didn't have the same charm as the other Ant-Man movies. It really felt like it was trying to, as someone who was trying to force memes, I know about this. It felt like it was trying to force a lot of memes I mean, it used to be She-Hulk twerking. Now MODOK is the face of everything that's wrong with the MCU. It seems like. So yeah, I'd probably say D.
I would give it at least a C, because I did like some of the humor. I thought the world building was really nice. I thought it had some really great heart, with Cassie and Ant-Man. But yeah, some of the stuff like MODOK was just not great, and it wasn't as funny and charming as the first couple. But I would still put it at C. I don't think it's quite D. Like, I don't think it's quite Iron Man 2. But it was a little disappointing. But I also did have some fun, you know?
Well, a lot of the ones in C, I do find myself like still kind of recommending. Like, yeah, I still think people should see them and stuff.
Oh, you don't think people should see Quantumania?
I'm really on the cusp. I still think like if you're not gonna see it on the big screen, I'd honestly say no. Because it was kind of cool seeing it on, again, that giant world on there and everything.
Yeah.
But if you're watching it just at home on there, I'm like, I don't know if people would get much out of it. Like, I guess it's like if there's nothing else on, like that kind of thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, where all the ones in C, I would still probably say, yeah, check it out. Like, there's a lot of problems with it, but I still say check out. So I guess I'm on the cusp. If it wants to see, I'm not going to fight you like majorly hard on it.
Okay, let me see what Walter says. Walter says Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is D like dog.
Oh, okay.
Disappointing, but fine.
Well, that's what some people said Quantumania was. So.
Yeah. Let me read some of these bit messages, and then the four of us
do like a lightning round with the shows?
We can do a lightning round with the shows, or if you would like to, we can also organize rank within the tiers. So like, what's the best of the B or like the best of the C kind of thing.
I feel like people would want to see us do the show.
All right, let's do the shows then. But let me read these bit messages first here. DCML, thank you for the 100 bits. Quantumania has unique ideas, but it feels like this movie was too safe. While Kang is intimidating, the way the film ends makes him less intimidating to me. I don't necessarily want to read too many spoilers here.
But I agree.
Yeah. Alexander, thank you for the 100 bits. I thought Quantumania was okay overall. I like how they did the father-daughter relationship between Scott and Cassie in focus. They've always had such a sweet relationship. I agree with that. DCML, thank you for the 100 bits. As someone who grew up with Maguire, this movie is in my top 5. It's not perfect, but the way the fan service and story worked was perfect. Moments like the rooftop talk, Garfield saving MJ, Maguire saving Goblin, and the final fight with Tom and Goblin was amazing.
I agree.
That's Sneer. Thank you for the 50 bits. 2 things about Multiverse of Madness. Elizabeth Olsen brought her A game, and 2, Black Bolt blew his own brains out.
Oh, yeah, with the little mouth thing when you get rid of the mouth. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Oh, Tamara, you gotta see this. It's another one of those. It's PG-13, but it probably should have been an R.
Like, it's a very soft R.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Your extra Joe, thank you for the 50 bits. I like Eternals, and the hatred of others only makes my love stronger. Good, like what you like.
Love it. Yeah, like what you like, man.
Yeah. At Disney Nerd, thank you for the 50 bits. Eternals is so D tier. It should be called Deternals.
Nicely done.
Burn them.
Eternals.
Kenway, thank you for that subscription. Welcome. We really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, here's the funny thing though. I don't know if we can fast, we'll try our best to fast debate some of the
20 minutes. I feel like we can do this.
Right.
Speed round it.
Okay, first one up is WandaVision. I know we have different views on that.
Let's let Rob go first. Yeah, I think he hates it the most.
I couldn't stand WandaVision. I didn't find it funny. I don't think it got what made any of the sitcoms it was spoofing work. It kind of tosses everything else out at the end. The only thing I liked, is that it was Agatha all along.
So what grade would you give it?
Where would you put it?
probably out of all this stuff, D.
Oh, I think I like it more than you, but I give it a D.
Maybe. I mean, maybe based on that E.
I like the idea. I like what it's trying to do. I don't think it did especially well, but I like the creativity. I like that the first Marvel show does something totally different, which I like. I like the acting in it. But yeah, I agree with everything he said. The writing is not funny. It's just
it's
filler.
Cringy. A lot of it's just cringy.
Well, but it's filler. We're not finding out anything about the characters through it. That's my thing. Really, everything is explained really in like the last 2 episodes.
I'm sorry. You didn't think that there was any growth or development of Wanda's character throughout any of the beginning of that series?
No, not until like the last 2 episodes. No.
Interesting.
No, really. Every once in a while, I'll be like, "What's going on?" Nothing. Go away. And that's like the growth. Like every episode is like, "What's that?" Nothing. Wait till the next episode. That's always the thing.
Oh, plus, and as if you couldn't make it any worse, they dropped Kat Dennings into it halfway.
Yeah, that didn't help either. But yeah, I mean but that's a popular show. I know we're kind of in. I don't want to say minority because I think more people have kind of turned against it.
This is.
But yeah, I think
the hill I've decided to die on.
I would say it's B for me. It's like B for me. I liked the characters. I liked that they were trying to do something different. I did like some of the mystery. I thought there was a lot of like subtle character growth rather than like sudden. I don't know. I liked it a lot, but I also really liked the Ralph Boner troll. I thought that was hilarious. Good for them.
Now that we know that,
I'm with Chad on that. That was a waste.
No, I disagree. Now that they are coming out that they're going to use the X-Men and they might use some of the same actors and stuff, I like that joke. Because that was the thing. I'm like, I got to wait and see, are they going to get the X-Men? Are they going to do with anything the X-Men? And they are, so I respect that joke.
Okay, so Rob, you were an E.
Yes.
Doug, you're D, and I'm B. So where should we put it? Like C, D? Because Walter didn't do the shows.
Yeah, one of the. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say D because that's what I picked. But I mean, I'm not gonna fight you if you say C.
Wait, did Tamara see it?
She didn't.
I didn't see it, but I know I'm gonna love it when I.
All right, we'll D it. We'll D it. That's fine because we got a lightning round it. Oh, chat vote. You're right. Chat vote C or D. Thanks, chat. We'll do C or D.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
Sons of bitches.
Thanks, chat. Thanks, chat.
Oh no.
They're gonna say C because they're gonna love it.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
But most people love it. Most people. Really
1 minute.
Like it.
Look above. Look above your chat.
At least it's between C or D, so I know it can't get a B.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but because same thing with what, like Rob, what you were saying. Like my wife was watching, and she knows nothing about the MCU, but she was liking the mystery and everything. And after about the 3rd episode, she's like, "I'm done. This isn't interesting."
Yeah, my wife was like, "Okay, this is
That's
weird
fair.
and cringy, but give it a couple episodes." And then as it kept, I mean, we watched it to the very end, and like my wife didn't like it that much, so.
I just like someone that knows nothing about the MCU.
Yeah. Now my wife knows a lot more about the MCU than your wife does, so that's.
No, but she was intrigued by how different and weird it was. I mean, we both were. It's like, okay, cool. Now where are you going with this?
No one's asking me what my wife thought.
That's rude.
What did your wife think, Tamara?
She didn't see it either.
What did Roberta think?
Don't dox her with her name.
Thanks, chat. Chat did vote for C. Oh, wow. What a surprise.
Okay,
Thanks, chat. I love you.
What did Walter's wife think, though?
All right. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I liked it. I'd say an A or B, honestly.
B for
I would
me.
say low B, C. It was fine. It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
So what, B, I guess, then?
I guess
B
we
for
can do
me.
B. Yeah, we can do that. I'm like teetering on A, but I liked it.
Loki.
That's A.
That's A or S for me.
I'd honestly say S.
Yeah,
really
let's
liked it.
go. Loki,
I mean,
yes.
I won't argue against S. So
That's an example of them trying something new, and it really pays off.
I just if the
And it's
movies
really
are in there
different,
as
it's
well,
real.
that's where I'm just like, really, do I like Loki as much as like Guardians of the Galaxy? And like, so that's why I would say A. But
yeah, but it's like I do. I really respect for how different it was. I honestly was not looking forward to the show And then when I started watching it, really won me over.
All right, King Croker's got a point. If Loki bumps up Dark World, then Loki is an S.
It's easily my favorite of the MCU shows.
Oh, definitely.
Easily.
Hands down. I
the
agree.
best of them.
It's also my
watch
favorite.
it.
My favorite movie is Brazil, and it is eerily.
I'm just saying there is no
Brazil. I'd be shocked if I
S-tier.
didn't watch it.
I think for me there is no S tier Marvel show. The highest I would go is A. So, but
That's fair.
if you want to give it S, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fair.
What if?
I didn't see it. That might just be you.
Oh,
Heather.
I did see What If.
That's like a
C.
C for me.
Yeah, half were good and half just sucked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Camera.
It was half and half. I think I would put it in C as well. Obviously I'm not into the Marvel shows. So I'm with you, Rob. I feel like I don't think
Well,
anyone-
I'm looking at it. I think the
Yes.
Marvel shows may explain why I'm just not into the Marvel movies much anymore either. I think part of that was the shows were giving me fatigue as well.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are saying that they're doing too much.
Yeah. Hawkeye.
I didn't see it.
Honestly, like for what it was, and I think just Christmas time helped, probably B.
I think it's B. I enjoyed it more than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that's another one like the Ant-Man movies that are just it's just charming as heck. It's the Christmas time vibe of it also plays into it.
I gave it, maybe I lowered my expectations because I'm like, it's just going to be a cheesy Christmas special. And I was just like, all right, it's pretty decent.
Well, and we had the return of Kingpin, which was fantastic. And I don't know. I think it's B. I don't think it was anything special.
Me in front of her during the Yuletide.
Moon Knight.
I really like Moon Knight. I'd say A.
Moon Knight's A for me.
I could get A. If it's an A for me, it's like a A minus.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the idea of a superhero with a split personality was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
they didn't give it away right away. I like the Egyptian background.
Yeah, I wanted it to go a little further. I think it was because it was getting so good I wanted it to be pushed further, and that annoyed me. Which is why it might be B. But like I did like large chunks of it, so I could go A or B.
It's A for me.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't seen it, but I do want to 3D print the mask, so A for me.
It's a cool costume too.
It's so cool.
Both of them are cool costumes. The different personalities. So yeah, I really like that.
Miss Marvel.
I don't know if it's popular or not. I kind of put it in A, honestly.
I loved Miss Marvel. It's my second favorite. I would absolutely put it in A.
When did that come out? I didn't even know that was out.
Last year, I think.
Yeah, last year.
I liked the idea better than the execution. For me, it would probably be B. But I really like the actors. I liked the fact that it was like a diverse kind of setup, and like it taught me a little bit of history that I wasn't fully aware of.
I like that too.
So I love that. I just thought the show itself, there were times where I'm like, it's a little slow, it's a little, but like I like, for me it's like a B plus.
The style and the shift of styles is really what did
I
it for
did
me.
I did like the style.
I thought the main character was very, very likable. Again, it's always something where I like when something kind of gets me excited for the MCU again because they're trying something so different. I thought that style was so inspired, and the character was interesting enough that. And then you're right, the shift with the backstory was so cool.
I think part of it for me,
but just go look Disney Channel-ish. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, it's very Disney Channel.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm a big fan of these comics, the newer Miss Marvel comics. And it has that kind of young adult, it's more young adult feel to it, where like maybe the Disney Channel-ishness came in for you. But I really love the character and really love the comics and still think they did a great job with the show.
I think some of it for me is, and I admit that this is on me, it's just, we're so far into the game now that it's just a little bit of like superhero overload where I'm just like, I like her character. I like her kind of real life and like that part of it. When it comes to the superhero aspect, I'm like, you could toss her on a pile with anybody else. I'm like, it's all starting to look kind of the same to me. Whereas I like her character outside of the superhero thing, I enjoyed kind of more. I don't know. Like
I liked it mixed with the style, the way it showed her world.
Yeah, it's kind of the fatigue where I'm finally hitting that fatigue with Marvel where I'm just like, yeah, it's just like I like her character like as a normal person, but it's just like the second the suit goes on, I kind of get a little disinterested.
All right, the ever controversial She-Hulk.
This is where we're gonna get the fisticuffs, I think.
C or D.
I was surprised you went that high, honestly. I was gonna
D,
say
probably D.
I was gonna say I'll give it a D because I do like a lot of the ideas. I like a lot.
No,
of
I do too. When it's like Harvey Birdman, it's great.
Yeah, or no, honestly,
I wanted it more about her court cases, and then
Yeah, or if they want to show her struggle, that's fine too. I feel like you can't just do, but you have to pick one. Go pure surreal, or like really show the shit that she has to go through. Don't have it be like completely silly and then completely serious and expect us to go back.
That was another one I generally like when it comes to like the female representation thing. I ask my wife, and she's just like, this isn't really doing it for me.
But I guess I'd say, I guess I'm in D. Yeah, E's a little low. I'll say D.
I so badly want to like this when I see it, but I haven't watched it because people didn't like it.
See,
I want to do a She-Hulk cosplay with all of my heart.
It's got a
You can do it. It's a comic book character.
Yeah, it's got a few funny moments. Like there's an occasional moment where I'm like, okay.
There's some very funny moments.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's just.
What did you think, Heather?
I would put it at a B. Honestly, I would watch She-Hulk again over Falcon and the Winter Soldier in a heartbeat.
Well, the cringiness stands out a little more. I'll give it that.
I guess I just don't understand the cringiness. I thought it was funny, charming. I thought Tatiana
I love
Mosley did a fantastic job.
I like her. I just think the writing sucked.
Yeah, it goes back and forth between being like, I was saying if you want to make it pure silly, like Harvey Birdman, pure surreal,
that's what
cool,
I want.
go with it. But they're trying so hard to show this is the struggle that I have to go through and everything. But she's acting like a college student, someone that just entered law school, not graduated it. And I'm like, but well, then why are we supposed to feel her struggle?
Yeah, I
and
had
she's
a hard
like,
time
yeah,
taking
and it's
that
work,
side of it
yeah.
I had a hard.
Look, if you want to be that, that's
it too
fine.
much wanted to be like
Why
Ally McBeal. It was like kind of a weird retro kind of vibe to it.
I feel like She-Hulk is suffering more backlash than it honestly is worth. Like, I guess people focus so much on like the stuff with Daredevil and the twerking, and I'm like, that's literally 5 seconds of it.
Okay, no, but you know it's more stuff than that, though. It's
Right,
there's a lot of scenes like that.
We're cherry picking examples, but
Right.
it's a lot of She-Hulk to me was a lot of death by a thousand paper
I just think it's overly hated, though. I think people were prepared to hate it because they wanted to get into this whole, like, it's hard to discuss it without actually discussing the connotation of people being ready to hate it because the MCU is turning into the MCU because of woke Disney. When like She-Hulk has been around in the comics for decades. Like, get over it. She's not a new character. She's been around and she's been like this in the.
But we also like
1,000%. 1,000%. That has nothing to do with it with me because I enjoyed her performance overall. I have no problem with that side of things. I just sat through it and I'm just like, it just isn't funny.
The bits, but here's the thing: the setups are still good, and I thought that last bit in the last episode was so. I actually told Rob, I'm like, no, Rob, you got to come back. You got to, because I think he did the same thing.
I did see. No, I tuned out like
ending, man. It really is great.
3 episodes before the end. My wife and I turned it off. And again, if my wife is not interested in it, I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel like
you sexist pig.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, well, she didn't like it either. So, and it just wasn't like we both were kind of watching it just mildly entertained occasionally, but mostly just generically bored. Like, well, we were reading our phones a lot when it was on. I'll say that. It was that kind of thing where it's just like, well, we're not turning it off, but we're also reading our phones a lot while it's on.
Sure.
I want to put it in D because I keep saying if they do a second season, I'll watch it because I want to see it get better. I think there's potential for it. Sure. I think they got to just pick one.
And the breaking the fourth wall, like for me, part of it is just like kind of Harvey Birdman already did all of this, and maybe if it leaned fully into that kind of vibe of anything goes, but it kind of wanted it both ways, where it's like, well, we're going to talk about these issues. It's going to be about her struggle, but then we're also going to break the fourth wall left and right. And like, I was just like, kind of pick a tone, and maybe I would like it more. But
well, what are we gonna do? We got a B and a. Oh, I guess I have to be C.
Yeah.
Then wouldn't it? We got to be
Yeah.
D. Okay, yeah, that wasn't hard.
Okay, last one. Werewolf by Night.
Oh, I really like that.
That one, that's the one I haven't seen yet.
Either A or B. I really like that
Oh, interesting. I would teeter more towards like C, B.
What the hell is that show?
It's a special.
It's a
never heard
special.
of
It's
it
only
my
like
entire
45
life.
minutes long.
Yeah,
It's-
it's like a one short.
Okay, all right, thank you.
But it's a send up to like the old like like the sort of Wolfman movies and stuff like that. It's done in black and white and everything.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
I guess
Yeah,
B.
it's
We could do
cool.
B.
Yeah, it's I will admit it's a style over substance, totally.
Yeah, but
at the same time, it did keep my interest. I wanted to know where it was going. I like the style. If it was a show, maybe I'd bring it down lower. But because it's just a short little special, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of dug it.
I mean, I would definitely say it's better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so we could put it at B.
Okay.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Oh yeah, they didn't have the Guardians Christmas special. I'm sorry, that's all there was on this one.
Oh, but okay, real quick, where do we put it? I probably put it at like a B.
A.
Oh, okay.
I could go either way, A or B.
I just love Guardians.
I do too.
All right. Fantastic. Okay, everyone. That was almost perfect timing. It is currently
Yeah.
7:59.
And we had arguments on the internet, and we didn't kill each other. See,
Yay!
web done.
Yay!
See, interwebs.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today. As usual, we super appreciate it. I will have soon a new April sub goal up so that hopefully we can do something like this again soon. So keep your eye out for an April goal going up soon. Hopefully tomorrow I'll figure it out. I gotta look at my little listy. But do come back. We have content here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow we've got a Q&A session with Doug. Tamara will be back on Thursday. Friday, Doug will be returning for more Arkham Asylum. So Bat Doug will return to action this Friday evening. Thank goodness we were all so scared and alone and frightened without you, Bat Doug.
Doug.
I am the knight.
You are the night. So yeah, hopefully we will see you guys later this week. Have a wonderful evening. I will probably save this and send it over to post on the socials. So definitely other people can see what they missed out. Missed out on, I guess. But yeah,
I
have
do
a
love the lonely Eternals down there.
lonely Eternals just hanging out down there.
I like that they both have their own spot there at the bottom. That one and the Thor.
Or Dark
That's
World
great.
Turtles, I agree.
Yeah,
Love that for them.
love that for them. All right, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. WandaVision sucks.